Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we do our best to prepare you for the first hour of the day. S&P's pretty much holding around unchanged here, Dennis. We got a high of 1226.50. Just above the daily pivot. If that holds as the high of the day, we have a downside target under 1200 at 1198.50. The current low stands at 1215.25. Really got nothing there for you folks, so that's not going to hold up as the low of the day. But if it does, upside target of 1243.75. And need to get back over unchanged to turn things around, Dennis. What do you see from your view?
Pretty quiet morning overall. A few stocks in Europe actually positive. I think that's maybe what's holding us up here a little bit. A couple stocks lowering guidance today. But overall, it's actually been a pretty quiet morning here, Joel.
Okay, we'll just rip through the Big Ten here. Apple did get a nice pop early in the session, flirted with the 395 level, getting up to 395.40, but just kind of gave it up along with the rest of the market. It's trading up 69 cents here, Dennis, but I got a great level for our listeners today. I hope our Apple traders have their pen and pencil ready. We closed at 388.81. That's going to be some mild support. 387.10, Tuesday's low, coincides with the 5-day low, which was last week's low. Under 386.76, you got to flat out short this thing. I think the next print will be at 381.
Joel, I couldn't agree with you more here. I think we had a breakdown day yesterday. It's interesting. We got up there, tested the 395 resistance, which has become a major wall here all of a sudden. You know, we've had 3 highs in the last 8 trading sessions up there at 395. Broke down through the 390 area. That low at 387.10 bounced off, exactly that spot. But you know how I love my 2-day moves, and I wouldn't be surprised if this thing had some follow through from the sell-off yesterday afternoon. And I think you've got a spot on that 380 to 381, maybe the area where it's going to.
Okay, ExxonMobil really showed some relative strength yesterday. In fact, it was able to touch the weekly high during the session. That was real close to the 81.76. There were the highs at the end of last week. We'd been talking about that 82 level. So that level, once again, the old round number theory, whole number theory for Dennis holds up again. Interestingly, we weren't able to get to Monday's low, which was 79.21. So we're hovering in between Tuesday's low and the close. I expect the close to be resistance. Below Tuesday's low at 80.14. Look for a test of Monday's low at 79.21.
80's trying to hold on here. Obviously below that, then you can start to think about a breakdown. But as long as it holds above 80, maybe you've got to play from the long side. Cuts through 80, then all bets are off.
Okay, looks like, IBM, I'm going to have to adjust I haven't been able to post the numbers on the site, but I'm going to have to adjust these IBM numbers because, kind of getting near the bottom of the page here. I closed at 191.15 with a 90.64 close. That coincided with, last week's low at 190.32. Just hovering above 190 here. Maybe get a little bounce off of there, the first time, Dennis. But I have 189.45 is a 9-day low, but I will get some more support, for you folks in IBM because, it looks like today it's, the day it starts to flirt with the 180s again.
Yeah, very important that this holds 190 from a psychological perspective, as well as that was major resistance, a level that we had talked about for a couple of months in October and November. So if you're a big believer in that resistance, 190 area might hold. Interesting in the pre-market, the low actually is 190 spot on. Last trading at 190.10. IBM showing a little bit of relative weakness this morning, but if it takes out that 190 level, then that's it just needs to hold that area because then you're definitely going to start looking into the 180s if that 190 doesn't hold.
Okay, Microsoft, Dennis, you're going to have to explain to me about this stock. Did they come out and lower some guidance yesterday? or forecasted lower revenues. I thought I saw that. Of course, it gets a pop. It blows through the 25.87 level, flirts with the 26, and then gave it back around along with the rest of the market. So that 26 level is still a major resistance. 26.10 was the high. You have a little gap even between Tuesday's low and Monday's high at 25.57. So the new range in Microsoft, 25.50 to 26 as opposed to 25.40 to 25.80.
Yeah, a little breakthrough there yesterday. I didn't see anything on the guidance there, Joel. Maybe it was a smaller headline.
Maybe I made it up.
It was nothing major on the major headline. Maybe it was an analyst or something, somebody lowering, but it wasn't the company themselves. But regardless, the 26 area still kind of held, but cut through there. I actually tried to short it off that 26 area. I got stopped out there just above 26, so didn't work out for me. I lost a few cents on it, but overall here, I think, the stock's finding some decent support in the 25.50s, mid-25s, so maybe you could play from the long side down there. And obviously the upper end of the range is the 26 to 26.10 area.
Okay, Chevron Corporation, like its brethren, ExxonMobil showed some relative strength yesterday, not even coming near Monday's low, which was 101.50, instead stopping at 103.10. Just trading down 22 cents from the close here, but I suspect you're going to find some resistance here at the 103.60 level. Above that, you have some closes, an old high around the 104.50 level. Coming back on the downside, below this 103.10, folks, I don't have a whole hell of a lot until Monday's low at 101.50. But for some reason, the oils hung in there yesterday, Dennis.
Yeah, they did show a little bit of strength. I mean, gold was and the precious metals were getting beat up pretty good yesterday. But your oil stocks actually held up. Well, oil spiked there early in the morning too, Joel, before selling off in the afternoon. Oil was up over $3, which I think gave these stocks a pretty decent lift. And then, they just didn't quite give it all back. But they're back to where they were trading the day before. Obviously this area could provide a little bit of support here, but if we cut through that 103 on Chevron, then, it could start to look to the downside again.
Okay, on J&J, the resistance moving down from the 65 level, from the 60 to the 64.68, which was Friday's high. And then you got a nice double top here at 64.08 to 64.20. Did not get much of a bounce in this stock off the low. I would be looking for this thing below this 63.14 low. Look for the 7-day low, which is 62.85. But the major resistance would be 62.46. Major support. Support.
Yeah, open at the high yesterday, 64.08. Never looked back, went straight down from the open. I think $64 even. That number is starting to come into play pretty significantly. Actually seeing a little bit of size there too. So I'd expect some pretty decent resistance in the 63.90s if this was to go into rally mode. From a buy perspective, I don't think you can really be a buyer until that 62.05, 62.10 area. So I'm a seller of rallies and a buyer about $1 lower here.
Buyer when you're short. Okay.
Yeah, covering.
Procter & Gamble danced around the 65 level again. Took out another seller. Wasn't quite as big as the seller before. Got through the 65. Got up to 65.33. Just shy of the weekly high, which was 65.5. Settled back under there, Dennis. 64.73 with a 64.40 low. Trading smartly above that right now. Use the close as minor support. Below this 64.40 though, we're going to definitely test this $64 level.
Yeah, 65.5 is huge on this thing, Joel. There's 100,000 shares up there again, too. So if it gets up into the 65.30, 65.40s, expect some major resistance up there. Coming back down that 64 area, I think you pointed that out. Okay, that could be the first stopping point, but not a heck of a lot below that. So if 64 don't hold, it could get ugly in a hurry. So I like the selling the rallies in this stock, too.
Hey, Dennis, is there any news on AT&T here? Trading down 39 cents? Or is it ex-dividend?
It was just one. Yeah, no, it was just one trade went off, Joel. 7:01 this morning. There has been a lot of trades in AT&T, so it didn't really have a market. Had 200 shares go up at 754 at 28.65, but it's bid 28.97 now, Joel. So just some, erroneous trade down there. That doesn't have really much bearance here, but 28.97 is the best bid. So.
Okay. This thing, I guess you just need to sell options on this thing and take in the premium, but there probably isn't any. Just hovering above the 28.80 level, that would lows from Thursday and Friday. Monday's lows moved up moved up just above there. The close around the 29. Major resistance is coming down from the 29.5 level now to 29.25. A breakdown though, this thing gets down to this 28.80 level, Dennis, and should be looking to fill that gap in the lower 28s.
Yeah, I like what you're saying though. The 29.25 area is definitely looming large here now. We're seeing resistance all the way from 29.25 all the way to 29.5. So anytime this thing gets in the 29.20s, I think it's a sell right now. 29.5, I remain bearish this stock. 29 is a psychological swing number you could possibly use, but you're right. We start breaking down below 28.80. That's where we had that run up from 27.5 to 29 a few days, so there ain't a heck of a lot in there. So if this gets below 28.80, you definitely can't be long.
Okay, GE, I don't know if we have many traders that, trade that stock, but you sure are getting a cluster of lows here, right around the 16.25 level. That was Thursday's low. 16.18 was the weekly low. Then you have Monday and Tuesday's lows at the 16.30 to 32. So let's just call it 16.25 with all these stupid decimals and everything. 16.25 is a major number in GE. As long as we hold 16.25, this thing's poised to go up and test the 17 level. We take out this 16.25 level, and we're headed back under 16 to perhaps 15.73.
Yeah, I think you might get a little stopping point at 16 too if we take up 16.25. But there's probably Joel say we got right through the 16. So I just remember the old 16 level. So if I'm short at 16.22 or 25, I'm probably going to cover in the 16 area. Just I'm a scalper at heart too. I always cover too soon. So, but 17 major resistance on this. Even 16.75, starting to see a little bit of resistance form up there too. Yesterday's high being 16.72.
Yeah, it's coming down from the high 16s. Coca-Cola. Kind of a quiet day in that as well yesterday. What I'd like to alert our listeners to is 4 of the previous 6 lows have been between 66.14 and 66.32. So let's just call that 66.25. As long as Coca-Cola is holding 66.25, we're poised to go back and you test the upper end of this little range we've been in, 67.5 to 67.75. But AT&T, Coca-Cola, and GE. Here are 3 of the defensive stocks in the Big Ten, all sitting on some major support here. SPUs have sold off. Dennis, is the support in the SPUs in these stocks, is it going to hold today?
Well, that's the question. I'm always a big believer of the 2-day move, though, Joel, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of these support levels started getting cut out. But the whole key with trading is, you lean on the support gets taken out, then you could possibly go short as those levels are taken out. Just don't get caught in a fake down instead of a breakdown. So just make sure, you've got some conviction there that the stock actually is going to move lower. This market's so hard to call day to day, though, too, Joel. It's, we've got news coming out left and right all the time. Europe, definitely a cloud over the market always. They solve the Europe, they don't solve the Europe. So it's hard to say, but overall, I'm a buyer of Coke. You're right at the 66.25 area. Cut through 66, and I don't want to own it, though.
Okay. All right, SPU's still meandering around on, so we'll use that 12.20.25 as resistance. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our market movers.